Dear students, so today let us we study about a topic bioinorganic chemistry. The word itself says the inorganic metal ions in biological systems. We know that the organic compounds are responsible for the biological systems. The carbohydrates, proteins, amino acids, nucleic acids, they're all very essential compounds in biological systems. The people, they thought the inorganic metal ions, they don't have any role in biological system in earlier days. But today, they have come to know that these ions play a very vital role in biological systems. For example, the iron, the iron that is present in the human blood plays a very vital role for the transport of oxygen and various other activities. Similarly, we take the sodium in the form of sodium chloride, which plays a very important role in human beings. Without salt, so we don't eat any food. Like this, there are so many metal ions are there which are responsible for the various activities in biological systems. This particular branch of science deals with these aspects. Now, coming to this about these aspects. Bioinorganic chemistry is the branch of chemistry which correlates inorganic materials with biological processes. It is a fast developing branch because of the importance of inorganic substances in biological systems. This branch highlights the role of metal ions in biology. So whatever the known elements which are responsible for the biological systems, the elements have been classified into two types. One is essential and another is trace elements. An essential element is that element which is required for the maintenance of life. Its absence results in a death or a severe malfunction of the organism. Of the 112 known elements, 30 elements are believed to be essential for life processes in plants and animals. Out of these 30 elements, 19 are known as trace elements, out of which 12 are transition elements. Essential elements have been classified as under. Number 1, bulk elements. These elements are present in large amounts like hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus and sulfur. They belongs to the class of this category. The second is the micro minerals. These elements are present in small proportions like sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, chlorine and so on. And some of the elements, we also classify them as trace elements. They are present in very small amounts. The iron, zinc, copper, etc. Now coming to the fourth category, that is known as ultra trace elements. These ultra trace elements, they may be a non-metals or they may be the metals. The non-metals of ultra trace elements are fluorine, iodine, selenium, silicon, arsenic and boron. Ultra trace elements of metals are manganese, molybdenum, cobalt, chromium, cadmium, tin, lead, lithium, nickel and vanadium. Biological activities of the elements like iron, zinc, copper, manganese, molybdenum, cobalt, nickel and scandium has been properly explained by bioinorganic chemistry, while the action of rest of the other elements is still to be understood completely. All the essential and trace elements are not required by every plant or animal. For example, sodium is vital for human beings and higher animals, but it is not essential for bacteria. Some higher plants require aluminium, boron and vanadium, which is not much required for human beings. Some essential elements prove to be toxic, even fatal when taken in higher concentration. In these things, let us we take some of the few elements and their biological importance. Coming to the first one, the role of sodium in biological system. Sodium is the major component of extracellular fluid. It mainly exists as chloride and bicarbonate. Its role in biological system is to regulate acid-base equilibrium in the body. It also helps in maintaining osmotic pressure of the body fluid, thereby protecting the body against food fluid loss. Next come to third point. It has a role to play in preservation of normal irritability of muscle and permeability of the cell. Many enzyme reactions are controlled by sodium. The injectable medicines are dissolved in sodium chloride, that is also called saline, before they are injected into human body. These are some of the points of the role of sodium. Now coming to the role of potassium in biological systems. Potassium is present both in intracellular and extracellular fluids. It influences acid-base equilibrium like sodium in extracellular fluid. It controls osmotic pressure and water retention. It is important for metabolic functions like protein biosynthesis by ribosomes. In a nerve and muscle cells, potassium ions are pumped into the cytoplasm and sodium ions are pumped out of the cytoplasm. This ion transport is called sodium pump. The difference in concentration of the two ions inside and outside the cell membrane produces an electric potential, which is crucial for functioning of nerve and muscle cells. Sodium and potassium ions are present in the red blood cells. The ratio of these ions in human beings, rabbits, rats and horses is 1:7. We can make up the potassium ions deficiency by consuming more of banana and coffee. Now coming to the another two important ions, that is role of magnesium and calcium ions in biological systems. Magnesium ions are present in chlorophyll, which is responsible for green color to the plants. Chlorophyll absorbs light from the sun and carries out the process of photosynthesis, which is a synthesis of the food materials in the plants. Magnesium ions are present in greater concentration in red cells than in plasma. Magnesium plays a vital role in the transphosphorylation reactions involving ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate, which is nothing but energy-rich molecule. Magnesium ions are present in the enzyme phosphatase, which hydrolyzes organic phosphates to free phosphates. Magnesium ions are present in the enzyme aminopeptidase, which hydrolyzes polypeptides to lower peptides and sometimes free amino acids. Calcium ions are present as phosphates in the bones of human beings and animals. They are also present in soft and fibrous tissues and muscles. Calcium ions plays an important role in muscle contraction. The malnutrition in children is due to the deficiency of calcium ions. The calcium ions in the body fluid is of great importance in blood coagulation, in maintaining the normal excitability of the heart, muscles and nerves. Deficiency of calcium ions causes tetany, while excess of it causes calcification. Both magnesium and calcium ions are excreted via the large intestine instead of kidney. Calcium deficiency occurs due to its precipitation as calcium oxalate after reaction with soluble oxalates present in the body. Now coming to the trace element, that is the role of iron in biological systems. Iron is an essential element for blood production. About 70% of it is found in red blood cells called hemoglobin and remaining found in muscle cells called myoglobin. Hemoglobin is essential for transferring oxygen from lungs to tissues. One of the most important functions of iron is in hemosynthesis, DNA synthesis, etc. Iron helps to convert blood sugar to energy. Iron boosts the immune system. It supports healthy skin, hair and nails. Iron-rich food include meat, eggs, leafy green vegetables, fruits like apple and others, etc. Iron is required for the growth and development. Without enough iron, the body cannot produce enough red blood cells, which is responsible to transport oxygen. Iron deficiency causes anemia. Coming to the next, the battle, that is the role of zinc in biological systems. Zinc is a constituent of an enzyme carboxypeptidase, which catalyzes the hydrolysis of terminal peptide bond at the carboxy end of the peptide chain. It is an essential element for all organisms. Zinc containing enzyme carbonic anhydrase is vital for respiration in animals. It catalyzes carbonic acid carbon dioxide equilibrium. So that reaction is carbon dioxide in aqueous medium. In presence of carbonic anhydrase, it turns into carbonic acid. The deficiency of carboxypeptidase enzyme may cause loss of appetite. It is toxic only in very large amounts. Zinc is essential for normal growth, reproduction, and life expectancy of animals and has a major role to play in tissue repair and wound healings. So these are some of the importance of metal ions in biological systems. Now, the same thing I have explained in some of the slides. So in this slide, I have shown the essential elements. So in the essential element, the first one, organic skeleton compounds like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus. Inorganic skeleton and body fluid components like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and chlorine. The trace elements, the selenium, silicon, tin, fluorine, and iodine. Transition metals, iron, zinc, copper, manganese, cobalt, nickel, vanadium, chromium, and molybdenum. Non-essential elements which are beneficial are boron, titanium, tungsten. So arsenic, cadmium, lead, so on. They are the impurities. The toxic elements include mercury, cadmium, lead, tantalum, arsenic, platinum metals, beryllium, barium, and so on. In this slide also, I have given these aspects. Essential trace elements are required by human in amounts ranging from 50 micrograms to 18 milligrams per day. This is important. Acting as catalyst or structural component of larger molecules. They have specific functions and are indispensable for life. The trace elements are iron, iodine, manganese, zinc, copper, selenium, and so on. Recommended internal requirements of trace elements are shown in the next table. Copper and zinc have been shown to be essential trace elements for newborn infants. Other trace elements thought to be essential are chromium, manganese, iodine, cobalt, and selenium. Breast milk, that is a breast milk, and modern formula feeds contain some of these elements. Now this is a slide shows the sodium in biological systems. The main source of sodium is sodium chloride salt, that is in cooking, in adding to salted foods. The content of sodium is high, is bread, cheese, clams, carrots, cauliflower, eggs, milk, nuts, spinach, etc. The 5 to 10 gram of sodium chloride is required for adult. Sodium ion is the major contains of blood. Plasma of vertebrates. White potassium is major cations of the cytoplasm which is present in cells. Sodium maintains osmotic pressure of the body. It plays important role to absorption of glucose, amino acid, and galactose. It is associated with chloride and bicarbonate in regulator of acid-base balance. Deficiency of sodium causes due to high environmental temperature, extreme sweating may cause loss of sodium ions. This regard is muscular cramp of the abdomen, headaches, etc. High intake of table salt causes high blood pressure. So in this also I have told you about some of the biological role of sodium. Coming to the potassium in biology. Potassium is an essential mineral, micronutrient, and is the main intracellular ion for all types of cells, while having a major role in maintenance of fluid and electrolyte balance. Potassium is necessary for the function of all living cells and is thus present in all plant and animal tissues. This is a slide that shows the role of both sodium and potassium. The two alkali metals, sodium and potassium, are very important and play a vital role in biological systems. These are highly mobile, unipositive cations forming soluble salts. They are strongly solvated in water. Our body obtained them from plants, that is from fruits and vegetables. Common salt is the most important source of sodium in the diet. Potassium is present in coffee, tea, coca, dried beans, molasses, green leafy vegetables, milk, fish, bananas, oranges, pineapples, potatoes, etc. Daily requirement of sodium chloride is minimum 5 to 10 gram and of potassium is approximately 4 gram. Our average intake is much above these values. Deficiency are readily observed. In this also slide, I have shown the functions of potassium in the body. This potassium absorption in small intestine and colon. Blood potassium regulates the kidney, aldosterones, increases excretion. So potassium acts as an electrolyte in the body fluid. It maintains fluid balances, muscle functions, nerve functions, energy metabolism. I have explained about the sodium pump, how the sodium ions enters into the system and potassium ions comes out of the system. So the diagram shows about these aspects. Now coming to the another, that is the magnesium. Symptoms of magnesium deficiency. I have made all the symptoms in males and in females. So the headache, dizziness, confusion, poor concentration, nervousness, jumpiness, migraine, all these are for both the human beings, males and females. You come across this. Posterior headache, cramps in the muscles of the face, neck, shoulders, and entire vertebral column. You come across cardiac arrhythmias, gastrointestinal cramps, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, also responsible for the magnesium deficiency. Urinary tract cramps and tearing cramps also you come across because of the magnesium deficiency. This slide shows biological importance of both magnesium and calcium ions. Magnesium and calcium are referred to as macrominerals. This term indicates their higher abundance in the body system. The body of an adult contains about 25 gram magnesium and 1200 gram calcium. Magnesium is essential to all organisms. It is an integral part of chlorophyll, the green pigment in plants responsible for photosynthetic reaction. All the enzymes which use ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, in the transfer of phosphates, they require magnesium as a cofactor. In this slide, I have shown about the biological functions of magnesium. Magnesium is an essential component of bone, cartilage, and crustacean exoskeleton. Magnesium is an activator of several key enzyme systems. So enzymes that catalyze the transfer of the terminal phosphate of ATP to sugar or other acceptors. Through its role in enzyme activation, magnesium stimulates muscle and nerve irritability. It is involved in the regulation of intracellular acid-base balance and plays an important role in carbohydrate, protein, and lipid metabolism. This slide shows about the biological functions of calcium. Calcium is a major mechanical constituent of the bone. Calcium in the bone acts as a reservoir that helps to stabilize ECF, calcium ions. Bone is a specialized mineralized connective tissue containing cellular elements, that is bone forming osteoblasts and bone restoring osteoblast. Contains organic matrix, that is type 1 collagen and proteoglycan. The third, hydroxyapatite, that is the calcium containing mineral. This slide shows the uses of calcium. The calcium is used in muscle contraction, glycolysis, that is metabolic degradation of glucose. It is also used in gluconeogenesis, that is metabolic synthesis of glucose. It is also used in blood clotting. Whenever our skin becomes broken, calcium works together with vitamin K and protein will help to blood clotting. It acts as a messenger system for hormonal activation like parathyroid hormone, and also it helps in calcitonin. This is a slide that shows the biological role of iron in the body. Iron is a component of cytochrome proteins that produce ATP in mitochondria. It has a functional role in all cells, that is iron. Iron boosts the immune system and wards off infections, bacteria, and viruses. Iron is the oxygen binding site on hemoglobin and myoglobin. Iron helps to produce nerve signaling neurotransmitters. It is used for synthesis of many proteins. Iron is necessary for synthesis of DNA, the genetic material in chromosomes. Iron has three main functions: carrying oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body, maintaining a healthy immune system, aiding energy production. Iron is a constituent of several enzymes, including iron catalase, peroxidase, and cytochrome enzymes. Yes. The functions of the iron. This also I have already explained. Just I am explaining in the form of a slides. Formulation of cytochrome, myoglobin, regulation of body temperature and muscle activity. Iron catecholamine metabolism, and it also maintains the immune system, maintains the brain development and function. It also controls the thyroid functions. It acts as a binding oxygen to RBC and the transport of oxygen from one part to another. It was the same thing I have explained here also. It helps to regulate body temperature. It aids in formation of hemoglobin. It provides relief from restless leg syndrome. It acts as a carrier of oxygen. It helps increase brain development. It strengthens immune system. It helps to cure pneumonia and anemia. It boosts mental and cognitive performance. It aids in energy metabolism in the body. So these are also the uses. Now coming to the another metal ion, that is zinc. Zinc is a transitional metal, belongs to a group 12 of the periodic table, and it is an essential trace element. Zinc has a substantial biological importance for plants and animals. Zinc is responsible for a number of different functions in the human body, and it helps to stimulate the activity of over 100 enzymes. Zinc is important for healthy human immune system, properly synthesizing DNA, promoting healthy growth during childhood, and healing wounds. In this slide also I have explained almost the same. In humans, zinc plays ubiquitous biological roles. It interacts with a wide range of organic ligands and has roles in the metabolism of RNA and DNA, signal transduction, and gene expression. It also regulates apoptosis. 2006 study estimated that about 10% of human proteins potentially bind zinc, in addition to hundreds which transport and traffic zinc. A similar in silico study in the plant Arabidopsis thaliana found 2367 zinc related proteins. There are 2 to 4 grams of zinc distributed throughout the human body. Most zinc is in the brain, muscle, bones, kidney, and liver, with highest concentrations in the prostate and parts of the eye. Semen is a particularly rich in zinc, which is a key factor in prostate gland function and reproduction organ growth. Catalytic role of a zinc. Over 100 specific zinc metalloenzymes depend on zinc for catalytic activity, including alcohol dehydrogenase, ribonucleic acid polymerases, carbonic anhydrase, alkaline phosphatase, carboxypeptidase, glutamic dehydrogenase, lactic dehydrogenase. These are all the enzymes which contains the zinc. Zinc is a Lewis acid accepting electrons. Students, we have studied about the metal ions in biological systems, taking sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, iron and zinc. Go through these aspects and try to learn about these things.